Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about Andor Episode 4 titled Aldhani. And so let's get right into this. What did I think about this episode? I thought this was another really interesting episode into Cassian Andor and his journey that he's going on. And I'm really loving this relationship between Cassian and Luthien, the character played by Stellan Skarsgård, who's I'm not completely familiar with all the names yet, so aside from Cassian Andor because he was in Rogue One, but I'm getting there. I'm really loving the interaction though between the two of them. I think Stellan Skarsgård is a fantastic actor. The very first thing I remember seeing him in was the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy when he showed up as Will Turner's father in the second and third Pirates movie. And then obviously he came up in the Thor films, and obviously most recently he was in Dune. So he whenever he pops up, he's always great to have because you can see, oh yeah, this guy is a thespian when it comes to acting. And you really see it in here because in this show, it's really giving him some great work to play with, and his acting just comes across. It's just really great to watch him and Diego Luna play off one another. And to see his character go off to Coruscant and meet Mon Mothma, I thought that was really cool. First of all, Coruscant, one of my favorite planets in the Star Wars universe. So when we got to go back to that planet, even though we didn't explore the planet too much, to get to see some of it and how it's going on, how the Empire is in charge there now, and the integration it has into the Star Wars universe. I think it was really cool to get to see. And we even got to see some of those Imperial, people working within the government of Coruscant. So, yeah, I thought that was great. It was great seeing Mon Mothma because obviously she's a character that has been in the Star Wars universe for a long time. Obviously, there was a deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith that was supposed to set her character up. But if you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, and obviously Rogue One and Return of the Jedi, she has appeared throughout some Star Wars projects in the past. And this is the same actress that was actually in that deleted scene on Revenge of the Sith, as well as the same actress who was in Rogue One. So it makes perfect sense that she appears in this series. She does hint that she has some sort of like informant or someone that's like she's in contact with that's helping her with all of this. I was listening to Screen Crush where they said that maybe it's Ahsoka Tano. I would love that, but I feel like that's like a fanboy dream because it would make sense because this is taking place concurrently with Star Wars Rebels, right? So both of them like take place 5 years before A New Hope, and both of them will lead up to a Rogue One and A New Hope. Except for the epilogue in Star Wars Rebels. I think that takes place a couple years after Return of the Jedi. But still, knowing that, obviously Ahsoka does help the rebels around that time, the Rebel Alliance, who are just starting to form, right? These next 5 years, they start to form the Rebel Alliance. So it will be interesting to see who Mon Mothma was kind of hinting at there, who she's talking to. And if I had to guess, though, I would guess Bail Organa. That was actually the first thought I had. But Screen Crush made a good point, is that, yeah, but if that deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith is canon, then Mon Mothma has already been in contact with Bail Organa for some years now. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how that turns out. That soldier guy who was from that planet who was trying to get Cassian last week in the first 3 episodes, he's in this episode, but he like goes and cries to his mom. So I guess he lost, and he needs to tell his mom, I didn't do so good. So go ahead, cry to your mom. You're a little wimp. I'm surprised we didn't get no flashbacks. I thought, the first 3 episodes gave us flashbacks to when Cassian was a kid. I thought we were gonna see maybe Cassian as a teenager now, but no flashbacks in this one. So hey, we don't need flashbacks if we don't need them. Unlike Arrow, which forced flashbacks into almost every episode, and sometimes we were realizing, especially when we got to season 3. Guys, I don't think we need the flashbacks that much anymore. But so at least this show knows, look, we'll give you the flashbacks when we need them. Who knows? Maybe there's no more, but we'll see. Is there anything else I'm missing? I think for the most part, yeah, this was a really good, solid episode. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff. Oh, obviously when Cassian goes to meet those guys that, Stellan Skarsgård set them up for. I guess they're like the beginning of the Rebel Alliance. Or at least a fraction of them, and going to plan out this mission that I guess they're going to go to next week to fulfill. I thought the tension between everybody was really interesting because, yeah, they don't know who this guy is, and Cassian's not even giving them his real name, so it's like nobody can trust anybody here, and I did find that really cool and interesting. And it will be interesting to see how next week, how they all work together, I guess, if that's where it's leading us. Yeah, this show is definitely one that you really got to pay attention to. And I realized this morning that I can't watch this show at 5 a.m. in the morning anymore. Unlike She-Hulk, which is a lot more easier to follow. You don't need too much brain power to get what's going on She-Hulk. This show, you need to really focus on it. And I as someone who has watched last week's first episode at 5 a.m. in the morning and now this week's episode at 5 a.m. in the morning, I'm going to tell you guys now, don't do that. Next week, my review will probably come a little later in the day, in the evening, probably because I'm realizing for this show, I can't stay up at 5 a.m. To watch and think about it because some things get lost in translation. Because my brain is not at full capacity by that time. So next week, when I do a review for Andor, don't expect it to be around this time, maybe a little later, a couple hours later after whatever time this pops up. So with that being said, tell me your thoughts on the episode. What did you guys think of it? Like this video if you haven't already. If you're a new person to this channel, welcome, and I hope you subscribe and stick around and fanboy out with me on these Star Wars and Marvel shows. If DC were to do more shows, I would do more DC stuff too. I love Pixar and Disney, Lord of the Rings. I'm watching that new Rings of Power series. I'll probably do a review of that. There's a whole bunch of shows I've been watching, but I don't review everything. I review the very nerdy stuff that I love really talking about. But maybe I'll do a video where I talk about some of the other shows I've watched. So that way, if you guys are interested, maybe you didn't check them out because you didn't know if it was worthy or not, I'll put them out there. There's a lot of non-nerdy shows that I've seen that I should talk about. And I'm sad that I didn't do a review for Cobra Kai Season 5 because I love that show. So I'll do a separate video for some of those other shows in one video, telling you all the other shows that I've been watching lately, but I haven't been doing reviews for. So with that being said, until next time, everybody, tomorrow's She-Hulk. So if you're a fan of She-Hulk, please join me tomorrow. That one, I don't mind getting up at 5 a.m. to watch. Because I don't need that much brain power for She-Hulk. With that being said, until next time, everybody, take care.